You're welcome. Our next lesson. Now here we are still looking at functions, and we have here two functions, that's Vlookup and Hlookup. Now someone may ask what the difference between the Vlookup and Hlookup. Now with the Vlookup, it is a function that looks at a vertically arranged table and it gives options on a based on a particular criteria. Whereas the Hlookup is a function that will always look at horizontally arranged table, and those arranged table is what we call the table array. Now, where do we use Hlookup and Vlookup? Instead of using if function, you can also use Hlookup for grading, for assigning comments, and many others. Whatever each function can do, Hlookup and Vlookup can also do. Now for today's lesson, I want us to dwell on Vlookup first. So we are going to use this example here. You have been given this data. They want us to find the total, to find average, then creating a suitable title that will be yours. I'm now looking at grading. Introduce a grade column after every subject and use the Vlookup function to assign a correct grade for each subject. So for this case, they have given us the marks, the range of the marks, and then the grade. However, is having from 0 up to 34, you give F9. Then 75 to 100, you give D1. So this is where we are going to base on to give our grades or to grade these students. So here we have the data. We can begin by finding the total, which equal sum, open your bracket, and we are summing from history up to geography. Press enter key, you will be done. Then equal average, we are getting the average from history up to geography. You also enter a key, and we are done with those ones. Now we are going to introduce grade columns for each and every subject here. For example, I'm beginning with the one of history, and I call it grade. Do the same for CRE, the same for the next one, then lastly for geography. And here we name it grade. Here we are naming it grade. This one also we are naming it grade. And for that case, we are now going to use Vlookup. Now we have said that a Vlookup looks at vertically arranged table. That will always give the options on based on a particular criteria. So we are going to arrange that table here that Vlookup will look at, and basing on this is not a part. I just extracted this from our question paper here for easy usage. So here you can see we have the range we have been given. So we want now to come up with a table that Vlookup will look at, and that table we call it a table array or a testing table. So since we are going to use Vlookup, and we have said that Vlookup look at vertically arranged table, so we are going to also arrange this table vertically. So we shall have, you can arrange it anywhere. We shall have marks, then grade. So our marks here. Now for this case, we don't need both limits. We use one limit. Here we have the lower limit and the upper limit. Lower limit, upper limit. We shall use lower limits. So 0, F9. Then another lower limit is 35. So I'm taking only the first numbers here in the range. that one will get plus 8 plus 8. Then the other one, 40, I told you I'm taking only the lower limit, plus 7. The one of 45 will go with the credit 6. The one of 50 will go with the credit 5. The one of 55 will go with the credit 4. The one of 60 will go with the credit 3. Credit 3. 70 D2. 75 will go with the D1. So there we have. I've told you when we are extracting what we are going to use from this table, we only take the lower limits. That's why you can say I have 0, 35, 40, up to 75. This one, ignore them. Now, the program knows how it's going to take the range. It knows that whoever is having from 0 up to 34 will take F9. From 35, 39 plus 8, like that. So what we need to do, this is our table we are going to use. Then we come to first grade and we introduce an equal sign. Then the function name, we are using a function called Vlookup. Open bracket, the syntax come here. Lookup value. What value are you looking up? So I'm looking at 90. Then there is a comma. Then the table array. The table array is this testing table here. I will select it. You can select from here or from here. So you select the entire table array. Now this table array, we are going to make it absolute. Why? Because we do not want the range to go beyond this one here, to come down. It must remain from here up to here. So F4. Then comma, we have column index number. Column index number, we get it from the table array here. Now in our table array we have two columns. This is the first column called marks and the second column called the grade. Now the column index number there is what you want to be displayed as a result. Now for us here, what we want to be displayed as a result is the grade, either F9, plus 7, plus 8. So it is found under column number 2 for this table array. So therefore our column index number will be 2. If it is the first one here you want to be displayed there, you use 1. Then you press enter key, so that person has D1. Then autofill. The same equal Vlookup. We are using the same table array. Sorry, Vlookup, and it's asking for lookup value. We are looking at 54, comma. We are using the same table array. We fix it, we make it absolute, comma. Still we want this column to be displayed, the grade column, which is column 2. Then you can autofill. You also repeat for this and this one. So equal Vlookup, lookup value, which is that, comma, then the table array, which is this one here. We make it absolute, comma, 2. You have known the reason as to why I'm typing 2. Then lastly we have Vlookup. The lookup value is 50, comma, then table array, we have that, and we fix it, we make it absolute, comma, 2, and you autofill for this one here. So there we are done with our Vlookup functions. Now let's turn to Hlookup, how we can use Hlookup for the same. So let me first create this columns for grade, just the way I did the other side. Now here we have grade. Okay, now with the Hlookup, the function will always look at a horizontally arranged table. So it means that our testing table or the table array must be arranged in horizontal format. Remember, with the Vlookup, it looks at a vertically arranged table. So I told you this is not part of the table here, but I just brought it here to make my work easy. So I'm going to have my table array here, where I have marks and grade. I'm going to make it horizontal, not vertical the way the other one was. So still here also we take a lower limit, 0, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 70, then 75. Then the grade, here we have F9, F, where is F? F4, 9, pass 8, pass 7, credit 6, credit 5, credit 4, credit 3, D2, and D1. And that's what we call our testing table here. Testing table or the table arrow. And we can now begin the same way we are doing the other side. So here equal Hlookup, since we are using Hlookup. Then lookup value, I'm looking at 90, comma. Then the table array is this one. Select it, and you also make it absolute such that the range does not change. So this is C10 to L11 remains the same for everyone. So by pressing F4 to fix it, then comma. This time when we are using the Hlookup, it does not ask for column index number, but it will ask for row index number. So here in this table array we have two rows. There is marks, then grade. Now the row index number, what result do you want to be displayed there? For us, we want to grade to be displayed, and grade is under row number 2, so you will type number 2 and press enter key, and you will get the same. So autofill, repeat for this one, Hlookup, lookup value which is 54, comma, table array, and make it absolute, comma, then row index number, row number to be displayed. Then you can auto fill. So when you have time, if you get time, or if you can compare, you can come here and look. We have D1, 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 credit 6, D1. Then here the same. So it does the same. If it was to comment, you also look at what range should I comment, and you take the lower limit, then the comment, lower limit, the comment, but always begin with the smallest value. Don't begin with the biggest. So that's all for Hlookup and the Vlookup. Thank you so much.